Hello, my name is Miss Chigaro, and welcome to today's lecture on data communication and networks. So today I want to explore the fundamentals of data communication. Since this is our first lecture, the characteristics of data communication, networks, the communication systems, and also the types of networks. So I'm going to take you through data communication and networks. So before you start this presentation, maybe you can pause this presentation. I want you to do this. Maybe you can take a pen and a paper and you write. Just write what is a network, why do you need a network, the infrastructure you need to create a network, the technologies that have been used in networking, which technology do you consider the best and why, and then after that maybe you Google the answers and you see maybe the results of what you think before we start our lectures, before we start this course. So we need to define data communication, and here I wrote the exchange of data between devices through a transmission media such as a wire cable. So data communication refers to the exchange of information between two or more devices, such as we can talk of a computer, we can talk of smartphones, we can talk of servers, but this is through a communication channel. So the movement of computer information from one point to another by means of electrical or optical transmission systems, and then in brackets I said network. So there are characteristics of data communication. You can talk of delivery. Data must be delivered to the intended recipient. So the data should be delivered to the correct destination and conduct use. We can talk of accuracy. Data must be transmitted accurately without errors. Alright, then this is where we talk about integrity. We're in cybersecurity. I'm sure you are going to learn cybersecurity when you are in right? So here we're talking of integrity, cybersecurity, that's what you say. So this is the communication system should deliver the data accurately without any errors. The data may get corrupted during transmission, affecting the accuracy of the delivered data. We can talk of timeliness. Data must be delivered in a timely manner without any delay. So data, this is what we call real-time transmission of data. When we are talking of jitter refers to the variation in packet delay, which can affect real-time application. So uneven jitter may affect the timeliness of data being transmitted. Here we're talking of key issues and networks. We talk of performance, and when you're talking of performance, we are talking of the ability of the network to transmit data efficiently. And we talk of throughput or delay, and we are talking of throughput, we are talking about the amount of data transmitted per unit time. When you're talking of delay, we are talking about the time it takes for data to travel from the sender to the receiver. We shall discuss this in the next lectures. And then we're talking of reliability. When you're talking of reliability or network reliability, we refer to the ability of the network to maintain connections and transmit data without errors, right? So data transmitted identical to data received, right? This is integrity, accuracy, then measured by the frequency of failure. Then the time it takes a link to recover from a failure, this is what we call reliability. Then we also talk about security. These are key issues in networks. Talking of network security, this refers to the protection of data from unauthorized access, theft, or damage from unauthorized. When we are in cybersecurity, we are talking of confidentiality, security, protecting our data from unauthorized access. Then, talking of communication system, this is a collection of components that work together to transmit information. Process describing transfer of information, data, instructions between one or more systems through some media. And the key components are, we're talking of a transmitter, a device that sends the data, right? Then we have a receiver. This is the device that receives the data. Then we are talking of a medium, the communication through which the data is transmitted, right? Then the message, this is the data being transmitted. When you're talking of a protocol, here above the receiver, the diagram, on our diagram, we are talking of the set of rules governing the communication process. This is just an introduction, and we are going to unpack this in our next lecture. Then here we are seeing that there is a digital signal and then analog signal. When we are talking of analog signal, we are talking of continuous signals that represent data using physical properties such as voltage or frequency. When you are talking of digital signal here, we are talking of discrete signals that represents data using binary digits. I think you can see on the diagram here there are ones and the zeros. And when you're talking of wired communication system, we are making use of physical media such as cables, our Ethernet cables, or fibers to transmit data. Then we are talking of wireless communication systems. We are talking of our Wi-Fi, radio waves, infrared signals to transmit data, and we are also going to unpack this in our next lecture. Then data communication basics. These are basics. We talk of telecommunications, taking of data communications. Then we get this broadband communication. And on telecommunications, we are talking of transmission of information over long distance through communication channels. We are saying that transmission of voice, of video, of data, and this is over long distance or broad term. Then on data communication, we are talking of movement of computer information by means of electrical or optical transmission system. Then this is through a communication channel. Then on broadband, we are talking of high speed data transmission over a wide band. When you're talking of LAN, we are talking of a network that connects devices in a limited geographical area. We can talk of a connection. Here, I'm recording from the Blue Roof, right? Made the Blue Roof. So this network that I'm using here for the Blue Roof building only, this is what we call local area network. Then wide area network, we're talking of a network that connects devices over a large geographical area. Maybe we can talk of a school or university. And also there's a metropolitan area network. This is a network that connects devices in a metropolitan area. Then we also talk of a personal area network. This is a network that connects devices in a small area, such as a home or an office, right? This marks at the end of our first lecture.